Hey everybody, I'm AdamHarry here with
Clint.
We're from BoLS Souls, and today we have the brand new Wrath of the Everchosen.
Oh,
It's not a battle tome. What is this? This is
like a supplement?
Supplement? Yeah, let's call it that. It's a Soul Wars supplement for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Got some really cool stuff in here, including new siege rules, new rules for chaos, and a whole lot more. Let's dive on in. Let's do it. Clint, Soul Wars, Wrath of the Everchosen.
big deal.
Big deal. I'm excited about this one.
I'm very excited about this one.
Now, we've had a little bit of time to flip through the book. Excuse me. We'll get a quick rundown of the story. So we are going to have some lore-tastic spoilers moving on. So if you want to read this for yourself or you don't want to be spoiled, thanks for watching. This book's really cool. You should get it. But we're going to go ahead and do some light spoilers.
Spoilers?
Major spoilers, too.
It's pretty spoilery.
Yeah, it's pretty spoilery. But that's why you're here, right? So, table of contents. We're not going to go through the entire book page by page, but we are going to hit some of the highlights, as we typically do here. There is quite a big chunk of lore, excuse me, for this book. This does advance the plot line of Age of Sigmar. I think that's pretty evident without a doubt once you start reading through here what's going down here. If you're not familiar with the current state of things or pre-state of things with this book, the Ossiarch Bone Reapers have kind of been introduced. Catacross has, with Nagash's blessing, made plans to attack the 8 points or the all points if you're not Chaos. So, and that's kind of the nexus for all of the Mortal Realms.
Yeah,
that's where all the realm gates are.
There's realm gates for every realm except Azur,
Yep.
Akshi, and Giran, I believe, because the Stormcast got Giran and Akshi down, and there was never one to Azur.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, this is the stronghold of chaos, the Varanspire. This is where Archaon and his hordes hang out. But that's what this whole chunk is for. Then we get into kind of the rules section here, where we're going to see a bunch of new battle plans. There's roaming monster rules. There's endless wandering, endless spells,
yeah,
which is kind of cool. Then we get the really cool siege warfare section, which we're both really excited about.
Yeah.
Then you get all the battle plans and cool stuff where you can actually play through the campaign of Wrath of the Everchosen. And then we get into a ton of new allegiance abilities for, what was it, 13? I think there's 14 total army rules, but 13 sub-factions.
I think there's 14 sub-factions.
Yeah. Well, there's the Legion of Chaos Ascendant, which I don't know how that functions, because that one's got all the specialty stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's 13 other ones.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's go ahead and flip through some of the key things here. Again, this kind of sets up the backstory, Age of Strife, all that fun stuff. Again, the Bone Reapers are moving in to attack Chaos. Flipping through here, Archaon has kind of been quiet in the lore, if you've been paying attention. There hasn't been a whole lot going on with him. He's actually kind of not at the Varanspire. He's been wandering around. He's actually been looking for Slaanesh.
And he found him.
Yep. He gets real close. He actually finds Slaanesh, bound by all of the unbreakable chains of paradoxical chains or whatever, and he starts breaking him out. And after slicing through one of the chains and is about to cut through another one, he has a vision of the Varanspire falling to the Bone Reapers. So he says, "Time out, Slaanesh, you're on your own. I got to take care of some business." And yeah, the elves are like, "We got to do something with Slaanesh because now they found him and this is not good." So.
And the guy that Archaon left in charge was he was manning a defense, but the whole thing is they had super fortified the Death Gate because that's where the biggest threat's coming from.
Yep.
And all of the reinforcements coming through the Death Gate were already dead.
Yep.
They were just zombies.
Yeah.
So stuff's not good right now.
Yeah, it's been real bad at the Death Gate for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And again, the way death works, if you send bodies to attack them, those bodies will end up attacking you because it's death. So. Yeah. Moving on from there, there's some distraction forces. We're going to kind of skip through here, again, lore-wise. There are some Night Haunt stuff that happens where they attack. Again, it is kind of a big distractionary force, led by Lady Oleander. Eventually, she does kind of get wiped, but she's not ever dead, right?
No.
Yeah, but she distracted them long enough to cause them other problems. Along the line, Catacross shows up. He's actually the one leading the main charge. He takes a point. That's one of the biggest things in this book is he takes one of the all-point points. So, and he builds a massive fortress thing called the Arx Terminus.
Yeah, Arx Terminus. Looks good.
Arx. I don't know. The X is weird, folks. It's not a C. It would be Arc, but it's
the RX Terminus.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's a giant fort. It's pretty cool.
Pretty sure I had a connection there last time I flew home.
is that was a terminal? Yeah. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff going on there. And again, because it's death, all of the chaos forces that go to siege it end up dying and becoming more death-like. So they're like, wait a minute, time out, pump the brakes on that one. We need to wait for the big boss to show up. Pause here real quick on the story. This terrain keeps showing up, right, Clint?
It does. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it keeps showing up. We keep seeing it. GW, and like these rocks are weird too. I don't know if these are kit bash rocks or not. Doesn't matter. What's curious is this stuff keeps showing up in more and more pictures.
GW, release it now.
Yeah, give it to me now, please. Where is this stuff? So, anyway, Catacross, Mortark. He's here. He's kicking butt. Archeon comes back, skipping ahead. They have a duel. Meet on the battlefield, whatever. Archeon does take Catacross out. Womp, womp, womp. Except...
Or does he?
Not really. Because he is, dead and all. They had this whole section about the recap, the kind of epilogue of what's going down. Yes, Archeon slayed, in air quotes, slayed Catacross, but Catacross essentially wakes back up in the Arx Terminus in a new body and is walking the halls with one of his little buddy bone soul mason guys, and there are hundreds of Catacross statues,
just straight up Palpatine.
And yeah, he's basically like, I'm a clone, or I'm not a clone, but these are phylactery or essence or whatever is able to transfer, and he is basically unkillable. So kind of crazy stuff going down. Again, the big takeaways here. He actually planned, I think, to lose that fight because he wanted to see Archeon in battle and see how he fought. So
just taking notes.
He literally was taking notes during the fight. Like, one of his guys was scribbling on one of the bone parchment things about the battle. So, kind of a big deal. Yeah. End of it. There has been a slight change to the status quo, but nothing too. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Be'lakor shows up. Be'lakor shows up. And he helps Archeon win, even though they're kind of rivals. Him being the first Demon Prince, and Archeon being the Everchosen. They butt heads, but this time around, Be'lakor's like, "Yo, you need some help." Anyway, there's a paint section here, which is really cool.
For all of the new sub factions, it looks like there's painting for the Lurid Haze.
Yep.
The Faultless Blades. Cool stuff.
Yep. Again, ton of Chaos stuff in here. If you're playing Chaos Demons specifically, you're gonna love this stuff.
You're gonna have a good time.
Rules section, Clint. This is where you're gonna be taking over here, talking to us about some of these rules. So we do have the Realm of Battle here for the 8 points.
Yeah, the Realm of Battle is super cool. It looks like a really fun place to play. I like the magic, which is if you've got any roaming beasts, which you will if you're playing in the 8 points.
Yeah.
One of your wizards could just go, and you're gonna get attacked, and just throw some bait on one of your enemy units, and that's the only thing the beast will go after.
Nice.
You got Force by Ether, which is if you're the one moving a spell and you've got a wizard within 12 inches of it, you can move it an extra d6 inches because the wizard's just whipping it into fury.
Cool.
And then you got all the Realmscape features, which are really cool. I really like the Crystal Weird Shards, rerolling casting rolls.
Yeah.
But if you reroll and you succeed, you take damage. So it's just kind of neat.
Trade-off, yeah.
Drifting Choke Spores is going to be interesting against Nighthaunt because units can't fly.
Oh, yeah. Well,
so,
yeah. There's other stuff going on. The roaming monster table's pretty neat. Again, if you're fighting in the 8 points, it's kind of appropriate to have this stuff, right?
Yeah, and I like that they have weird behavior.
Yeah. You basically have you basically have, what was it? There's just Distracted, Spooked, and Hold. There's Advance, Charge, Rampage. So you have that many kind of states for the monster. And if they're in combat, obviously they're going to be a little bit different than if they're not in combat. So it's a rudimentary AI for the monster, but it's not so unpredictable that you can't really play with it. So
it's going to be neat. I think it's going to be neat to just have random monsters stomping onto the battlefield and whapping people.
Yeah, and again, this is an optional thing. You do kind of have to agree with your opponent to do it. So there's a whole bunch of sections here, about like, before the battle, if you both agree to use this is how you do it. So it's a neat thing, neat section here. There's kind of a similar thing for Wandering Endless Spells too. And it kind of has a chart here where the Endless Spell is going to move around to and things like that. So, again, similar behavior chart here for the Endless Spells. Again, optional. You do have to agree to use it with your opponent beforehand, but it's neat.
Yeah.
Nice little extra thing here. Great for narrative play, I think.
I think so.
Again, more rules for the Endless Spells too.
If you roll the Unleash Power effect, see what happens to it.
Yeah, just a chart there for you.
This is just a hilarious picture because I can't imagine what happened here. Like, hey, we're just fighting, and oh my god, it's some health!
Welcome to Endless Spells, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Siege Warfare is really neat.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so Clint, can you give us a quick breakdown of the Siege phase? This is essentially a new phase of the game.
So when you're setting up a siege battle, then this only does apply in siege battles. So when we get to some of the crazy rules later, you can be like, hey, why are you doing that? Because it only matters in siege.
Right.
But, so at the
beginning... Tell us first the stronghold setup, right.
So the defender, the attacker sets up first.
Yep.
And then the defender gets 5 pieces of terrain in their territory.
Yeah, minimum
that is
of 5.
Their stronghold. Minimum of 5, but however many you want.
Yeah.
In your territory, that's your stronghold. And then your units start garrisoning it.
Yeah, and those stronghold pieces of terrain can be anything from like wildwoods to fortifications
to ruins, whatever you want. And if they have special rules, they have special rules.
Ideally thematically appropriate, though. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just put all of your Ozark Reapers in Awaken Wildwoods. It's fine. Then during the siege phase, you and your opponent, whoever's the attacker and the defender, you each pick a dice. And the attacker has 1 through 3, the defender has 4 through 6. And you've got different things you can do. The attacker can starve, batter, or tunnel. And the defender can gather supplies, rebuild, or counter tunnel.
Yeah.
So what happens after that is then, once you picked your dice, you reveal it.
Yeah.
And then you have the starve phase, the batter phase, and the tunnel phase. In the starve phase, the attacker rolls a dice for every unit on the battlefield, subtracting 1 from their roll for heroes, or for every enemy unit on the battlefield. And for every 5 up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds because they're running out of food.
Yep.
The batter is then the attacker rolls a dice for every terrain feature in the defender's territory, and on a 5 up, it's been breached, which means none of its special rules apply anymore. It's still got cover, but like if you hit a wildwood with that, it's not going to come to life. It's not going to get activated by magic. You have put the trees to sleep.
Yeah.
And then tunnel.
Or broken a wall, or shattered a, if you're playing on Dominion of Sigmar, broken that special ability, whatever it is, it's just inert terrain now. And then we have the tunnel,
which is this one is a little funky because you both roll off and then apply any of the modifiers, and whoever has the highest roll, well, if the attacker gets the higher roll, they get to take a hero and 2 other friendly units off the table. And then in the movement phase, pick a point anywhere in the defender's territory, and set up all of your models wholly within 6 inches of that point and more than 3 inches from an enemy unit. Now, that's a lot closer than what we're used to.
Yeah, 9 inches
within
usually.
9.
Yeah.
So you can immediately hit them with, a charge.
Yeah, with outside of 3 inches means that you're not engaged with the unit yet, but it's almost a guaranteed charge. So
you got to roll Snake Eyes, and since you have a hero there anyway, as long as you have a command point, it's a guaranteed charge.
Pretty much.
And then so here you got the siege table down here, and this is what's going to determine those rolls. So like, let's say that Adam decided he's going to batter me, and I'm going to gather my supplies. So he get +1 to his batter roll, but -1 to the starve roll.
Sure.
So like he'd need a 6 to hurt my units, and he couldn't hurt my heroes at all, but he would destroy my terrain on a 4-up.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you do that every turn.
Yeah, and again, the big one I think is the tunnel counter tunnel thing. Because if you do the counter tunnel to the tunnel thing, it's a -2 to the tunnel roll, which is kind of huge. So it's just if there's some gamesmanship, there's definitely playing your opponent on that one and trying to get into their head. So it's pretty neat. And then there's extra siege command abilities here for both attacker and defender. Clint, did you have one that you really liked?
I was really fond of reinforcements because it's dirty.
Yeah, this one right here. Basically, you spend a command point on a 4-up. One of your friendly units that's been destroyed. Again, for the attacker, it comes back. This comes back.
And I also liked Boiling Oil for the defenders.
Yeah.
Which is you pick a unit that's garrisoned by a hero and at least 5 friendly models, and then for you roll a die for each unit within 3 inches, and on a 4-up they take D3 mortal wounds as you pour boiling hot something on their head.
Very straightforward, pretty cool stuff. And hey, look, it's that terrain we keep seeing. GW,
Where is it?
I want it. Give it to me now. Here's the Siege Warfare Allegiance abilities. There is an Allegiance ability for pretty much every army in the game right now. And I want to say one more time, these are optional and only apply to Siege Warfare games and not for your regular games of Age of Sigmar. So if you're playing against the Bone Reapers, they do not have +1 armor save for the first battle round against in a regular game. Like, that's not how this works, okay? Yeah. All right, now let's talk about a couple of these. The Bone Reapers, for example, if they are the attacker, they do get to add 1 to their save roll for attacks that target them during the first round. Because if you think about it, they're attackers in a siege. It would be kind of hard to hurt them as the defender during the early part of the siege, right? It kind of makes sense. If they are the defenders, they ignore the effects of any starvation rolls in the siege phase. Very powerful, not gonna lie.
You just can't starve them.
But they're dead, so that's why you can't starve them. Everybody's got something similar like that. Shockingly enough, Skaven really good at tunneling.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
I like the Seraphons because if they're the attackers, their reinforcement lets them set up anywhere because they're not real. They're just illusions that the Frogman has made. So it's like, I want my guys to be back here.
They just teleport in, man. Just poof. Yeah. All of these guys are really cool. Again, talked about the Bone Reapers, talked about the Seraphon. Maul tribes are funny because if they're the defender, you subtract 1 from mortal wounds inflicted by starve rolls.
Yeah.
So they theoretically could take no wounds even if they failed their starve roll. I guess they just have... They have an insatiable appetite, but they have a lot of...
they have a lot of stuff built up.
They have a lot of... Yeah.
And I like their attack roll. You just add 1 to the battle roll because they just ram into things.
Right. It's very flavorful. I think these are very appropriate to their armies and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, again, every army's got those. Moving on here, you get a bunch of battle plans. If you want to play through, again, the actual Wrath of the
Bridge
of
Molten Screams.
You can do that. Quite a few there. And then we get to the Chaos Allegiance abilities. Let's show a couple of these off real fast. We're not going to get through all of them because there are 13 of them, plus the War Scroll battalions for the main one. We'll actually show off a couple of those too. But if you're playing Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh, or just a Legion of Chaos Ascendant now, you've got battle plans. Not battle plans. You've got scrolls.
And if you're playing Host of the Everchosen, you've got 1 too.
Right.
Because the Host of the Everchosen one is crazy.
Yeah. Yes. New battle traits for Legion of Chaos Ascendant. This is for Chaos Undivided, essentially.
Yeah, this is basically like Be'lakor's Demon Army.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Be'lakor is actually the one that runs this one. So, yeah, you got a bunch of battle traits, spell lores, command traits, artifacts of power, and then we get into your different battalions here. So you can see their point values. You can see what they take inside of them. Cool stuff all the way around. Yeah, if you're playing demons, man, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it feels like the old Chaos Demons book.
Right.
From Fantasy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
So, good stuff. Yeah. Moving on from here. Again, Knights of the Empty Throne.
There it is.
This is the one you were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so talk to me about, what is this Empty Throne thing?
Well, I think this is the one. Yeah. So, in Knights of the Empty Throne, Varangard are heroes.
Yeah.
Units of Varangard are heroes, which means that the units can have artifacts of power, and the units can have command traits, and that's crazy.
That's kind of scary. So, explain to me real quick. If I take 1 artifact of power, that applies to the whole unit? Is that what you're saying?
That's how it reads to me. That is written, that's how it reads.
Yeah.
You can only take these artifacts of power, but they're really good.
Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. So, very cool stuff. Again, this is just one of many. Yeah, Knights of the Empty Throne. If you're playing that list, which is like Archaon and his Varangard buddies, this is the way to go. I don't know if you can have Archaon in your list, but anyway, cool command abilities, artifacts, all that fun stuff, command traits. And then here's an example of the 2 Khorne ones that you can get. the Flayed and the Baleful Lords. As you can see, each one has their own ability, command trait, artifact of power, and command ability. And there's 13 more, like, or something like that.
And it's like, it's mortal versus demon.
Yeah.
And they do that with a lot of them. The Slanesh one's a little different because they have one for each of the hosts.
Yeah.
So it's Godseeker, Pretender, and the other one.
Right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the Seekers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. So, yeah. Good stuff all the way around. All of those. Thousand Eyes. Yeah. Drowning Guard, again.
Yeah, Nurgle got 4.
Nurgle got 4. We got some love. Yeah. Legion the First Prince. That's actually Be'lakor.
That's Be'lakor, yeah.
Yeah. So, good stuff all the way around.
It's a sweet book.
If you're playing Chaos, holy crap. And if you're a
book.
lore junkie, double holy crap.
So I'm excited.
You're excited. I'm pretty pumped about it too. Again, it's nice to see some of the Chaos getting some stuff. I'm really excited about those new rules, but let's talk about...
Power of 3, Games Workshop, where's our terrain?
Where's our terrain? Where's my Bone Reaper terrain? Let's hop out for a really quick recap.
All right.
That was the Wrath of the Everchosen.
Wow.
Yeah. Final thoughts here, Clint, on the Wrath of the Everchosen book.
This is going to be huge. This is going to be a huge change. I mean, like, just the siege rules, everything's going to be really fun. Like, I loved, like, the old style of fantasy sieges when that was, like, just a side thing you could do, and this is really going to bring it back. I hope we get to see some, some big terrain pieces. But
I'm sure. I mean, we saw in the book, kind of pointed out there that the Bone Reapers have that thing we keep seeing. Hopefully it'll show up eventually. Aside from that, a ton of new rules. If you're a cast player, I feel like this is kind of a must-buy for you. If you are more of an open play narrative type of player, the siege rules, again, I'm with you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super pumped about that. I think that's probably going to be just one of the biggest changes for that style of gameplay. So,
and if you like the lore, this is a huge new chapter in the lore.
Yeah, this was definitely a move forward. Again, we've seen it before where, like, things happen, but the status quo doesn't really change. And at least in this one, I mean, the Bone Reapers have one of the 8 all-point points. So, is it the 7 points now?
We'll call it that. We'll call it the 7-11.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Anyway, I'm AdamHarry.
I'm Clint.
We're from BoLS Souls. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.